With the biggest story of the day, and that is the news that DeWanna Bonner is no longer with the Indiana Fever. It was reported last night that DeWanna Bonner had no intentions on returning to the Indiana Fever, and then the news broke today that the Indiana Fever had indeed.
Dana Bonner thought she could simply walk away from the Indiana Fever and join any team she wanted. But reality hit like a freight train. WNBA teams are now refusing to touch her with a 10-foot pole after she abandoned her teammates midseason. The karma is strong and incredibly satisfying. Dio, you think Dana Bonner deserves to be blacklisted after what she did? We're witnessing one of the most dramatic cases of instant karma in WNBA history. She walked away from Caitlin Clark and the rest of the Fever during the season, expecting teams to be lining up for her. Instead, reality served her a cold, hard dose of consequences, and it's nothing short of delicious to watch.
Statement. She said, "I want to sincerely thank the Indiana Fever for the opportunity to be part of the Fever franchise. Despite our shared goals and excitement heading into the season, I felt the fit did not work out, and I appreciate the organization's willingness to grant my request to move on, particularly at this point in my career. I wish the Fever great success as they continue to build around this dynamic group of young."
Here's what makes the situation even more embarrassing for Dana Bonner. She was waived by the Indiana Fever, which means any team in the league could have claimed her, and they would have had to pay her full $200,000 salary. But not a single team stepped up. That silence across the league, it's deafening, and speaks volumes about how she's now perceived.
If another team claims her off the waivers, she gets her full salary. She gets her full salary if another team claims her off the waivers.
There's significant money in the WNBA, so you'd expect teams to show interest in a seasoned player who's won titles. But surprisingly, that's not always the case.
Thing that makes DeWanna Bonner look really, really bad. It makes DB look really, really bad. And it's the fact that she has told all other teams, other than the Mercury, don't sign her.
According to reports, she's told every team in the league, except the Phoenix Mercury, not to bother trying to sign her. She's acting as if she's a free agent with full control over where she lands, even though the reality is quite different. Many see her as a player whose value has dropped, and teams aren't lining up. It's reminiscent of the Ben Simmons situation, refusing to play unless she gets a preferred destination, all while still being under contract. The confidence she's displaying is bold, to say the least. She signed with Indiana, accepted the perks that came with being part of the most talked-about story in women's basketball, magazine covers, packed arenas, national spotlight. But when things didn't go as planned, she walked away. Now, she's apparently trying to dictate the terms of her next move to the entire league.
And look, I understand that's where she wants to go. Why didn't she go there in the summer? We know why, because she couldn't have got her max contract. And by the way, people are like, oh, they can give her the minimum. No, they can't. The Phoenix Mercury can give her a prorated $80,000 salary for the rest of the year. So she's only going to lose about 30K-ish. And she's going to lose about 40, 50K. Whereas they would have been only able to sign her earlier on. Well, they would only be able to sign her for nothing. Because again, we can't forget as well, the Phoenix Mercury cut Sevgi Uzun. The Phoenix Mercury have a bunch of players signed on hardships and a bunch of players that they can cut. Like they literally cap space magicked up. And as soon as cap space magics up for the Indiana or for the Phoenix Mercury,
DeWanna Bonner has reportedly made it clear to every team in the league, except the Phoenix Mercury, not to bother pursuing her. It's as if she believes she's a free agent with full control over her destination, despite still being under contract. That stance has left many around the league questioning her judgment, and her commitment. Here's where it gets even more uncomfortable. The Mercury, the one team she's eyeing, may not even be interested in her more. That's right. After allegedly distancing herself from Indiana to force a move to Phoenix, Bonner may have misread the room entirely. The Mercury have built a strong culture with young, committed players who are currently delivering wins. Why risk disrupting that momentum for a veteran who just walked away from her last team? From a financial standpoint, it's even more damaging. Had another team claimed her off waivers, Bonner could have earned her full $200,000 salary. But by narrowing her options to Phoenix, she may now only earn a prorated veteran minimum, closer to $80,000. That's a six-figure loss over a gamble that may not pay off. Front offices across the WNBA are watching closely. The optics are damaging. GMs and coaches are asking the hard question. If she quit on Indiana when they needed her, what's to stop her from doing the same to us? And let's not ignore the impact this has on the Indiana Fever's locker room, particularly on rising star Caitlin Clark. Borna was expected to be a guiding voice for Indiana's young players, a mentor through the highs and lows of a spotlight-heavy season. Instead, she exited just as things got tough. Clark, who had worked hard to build chemistry with Borna in the preseason, is now dealing with both disappointment and disruption. This wasn't just a basketball loss. It was a leadership void. There are obvious comparisons here. Jimmy Butler forcing his way out of Philadelphia, Ben Simmons sitting out games under contract. But there's a key difference. Both were either in their prime or had high trade value. Borna is nearing the end of her career. Her leverage simply isn't the same. What makes this saga even more baffling is that Borna wasn't benched or sidelined in Indiana. She was starting, playing real minutes, and involved in the offense. The team's early struggles weren't ideal, but quitting mid-season isn't exactly a professional response. And by trying to limit her options to just Phoenix, she's signaling a level of entitlement that's raising red flags across the league. Even Phoenix seems hesitant to make a move. They'd have to cut someone to add Borna and risk destabilizing a roster that's currently performing well. That hesitation speaks volumes. If the one team she wants is unsure, what does that say? It's also hard to ignore the personal angle here. It's been speculated that Borna's desire to join Phoenix stems from her relationship with Alyssa Thomas. There's nothing wrong with wanting to be closer to your partner, but orchestrating an exit from a team under contract and then trying to spin it as a basketball decision? That's harder to defend. This situation sets a potentially damaging precedent. If players can walk away mid-season and demand their next destination, what happens to team loyalty, culture building, or the integrity of contracts? The WNBA, still growing its national presence, can't afford this kind of instability despite some media silence around Borna's actions. Fans and insiders see what's happening, and many aren't impressed. There's no shortage of support when players are genuinely mistreated. But when someone appears to abandon their team for personal preferences without consequence, it challenges the norms of professionalism that Borna's future in the WNBA might still include a stint in Phoenix. But if that happens, it will be despite the damage done, not because she handled things well. Her reputation, especially among GMs and younger players, has likely taken a major hit. The irony, if she'd just been patient and professional, she might have gotten what she wanted anyway. For now, she's learning a hard truth. The league notices how players handle adversity, and actions like these don't go unnoticed or unpunished.